Blessings and power unto you, friends. This is another day that the Lord has made, and I am going to be glad and rejoice in it. Just turning up the volume to make sure that everything can be heard on my end. Friends, I just want to say that, God is so good. The topic of this message is about Martin Luther King Day, doing something different and speaking about it because I feel like that I can share from my own life experience and things on this particular subject and how things made an effect on the world and how it changed things and it's still in operation. So as you come into the room, welcome one another, greet one another. Most of all, be kind to one another. If this topic seemed to be sensitive to some individuals and things, I ask you now that, you do not even entertain or go any further, but these are just my thoughts, from the effects that it did in the world, upon my lifespan and still living and what it's still doing and seeing the different changes as well that is going on. And I just want to start out to say that for any individuals that may be in the live chat or that may come back later on, I just want you to know that, during the time being, raised up in the 60s, or if you were born in the 60s, that particular energy was still, around for a very long time of what Martin Luther King did and his purpose and his reason. Oh God, I thank you. I thank you for that particular soul, that was living at that time and that had the encouragement and had the will and the power to go through it because, that was his purpose. And his purpose was not about, to cause what you call no peace, but he wanted peace. He wanted righteousness. He wanted the things to make a difference so that everyone can basically get along and live along. But he also understood the assignment and journey. I'm very thankful of the individuals that was with him along the journey that encouraged him. And not only encouraged him, that was a part of the particular journey when it came to him doing the marches and the movement and things that had to be, something. But I just know that it just made an effect upon, just world changes. And at that time, I was very, what you call, young at the time, but you can hear in, the families and different homes and things. And, I came up in the country and the part and the areas to where about, if you had a telephone, if it rung, it meant that somebody need to get a message through and things. It was used in that particular way, just from my knowing, at that particular time. So it was just a lot that was going on, knowing that we couldn't drink out of the same fountain, less known, be what you call going to the same school, trying to sit up in a classroom and things. And less known saying if you were in bigger cities riding a bus to where about you had to give up your seat, or even if you was eating out, you had to go through that back door, or you just couldn't sit in restaurants where about other individuals could, meaning the privilege that was being given. So what do this got to do with the power of praying? It took a lot of our ancestors and individuals that were ahead of us to pray. And when I say to pray that the change will come, to pray that, God, you will make a difference, whether or not I'm living to see it or whether or not I'm not living to see it. They believed in that power of prayer, that change gonna come. And by them understanding that power of prayer, they were making a difference and they were clearing the atmosphere, for the generation that is now living, whether or not, like myself, I have gotten in my latter years, but even the generation now that my children and their children, can carry on the legacy of that goodwill that I was talking about and that righteousness and knowing your rights, knowing that, all of us deserve to be treated right. It makes no difference the color of our skin, or, who you married to and things, or who you have children from. It's just that all of us are in this particular life for a journey and for a purpose. And if we begin to remove what you call the obstacles out of the way, and just understand that we are purpose driven here on this particular earthly realm. And I truly can appreciate the particular observing of this particular day. This particular day, all days I am thankful, but it was just something about trying to come here and just talk about, this particular subject. I'm like, Lord, why do I need to even talk about it? Because I feel like that the movement made a difference for the individuals that were not born around that particular time and didn't experience it. The atmosphere to live in it, it was so what you call tense to where about, you had to be prayerful even when, your family went off to work, when they were driving and things. You just had to be extremely prayerful because you didn't know whether or not, they would come back home if, they were understood to be a part of that particular movement, making the right ways. Now, how did this affect me in my particular life? Well, at that particular time and era, it made me realize that, you can be anything that you choose to be. You can make a difference in this particular life if you choose to be, if that's the direction that you want to go into, go to school or do the things that someone else may speak down to you and say what you cannot be. You have to take your will and your power and you have to succeed to the level that you know your purpose here on this life. You cannot allow things to stop you nor places. But here's the thing too on this particular conversation that I'm talking about, and I'm coming from my life experience. I did share, and perhaps I will constantly share because I know the impactment of what Martin Luther King did do. It impacted everybody that had an opportunity to go to school, to be sitting in places that normally you wouldn't never ever be able to sit in, and things if voices was not talked about and spoken upon of how things need to be changed and how equal rights should be equal upon everyone. So in understanding that, was I able to experience it? Yes. You heard my story, friends, one time before, but I quite still, as being young, like I say, this stuff have to be taught as being young, and now when I became an adult and when I wanted to achieve what you call a career in a certain area that was majorly, as they state, male dominantly, that women were no longer, well, women was not what you call being accepted as they should on the job. As I look back now, I look at the individuals that trailblazed it ahead of me, meaning they made a difference in life, meaning that they made that change to whereby I'm so grateful. But in making the change, it's like all of the hardship and all of the understanding that can we get along had to be approved and had to be basically signed and documented as if, we have to have permission, like raising our hands. Can I love my brother or sister? Can I get along with them? Can we work together? And for me, that experience can leave marks upon your heart and your body. That's why I truly believe in excelling to the highest level with that peace and love and unity and not being controlled by the thinking process of how the world may view me as being an individual that want to carry this love and this peace and the harmony no matter what position that I am in life at this time in my life, and no matter what I possibly went through and the emotions and what I felt, and things, you still have the opportunity, meaning for myself, to continue to love and to grow and to evolve. You don't have to stay the same in this particular journey. You can make a life change by making a difference, by spreading that peace, love, and that joy, and by encouraging generations that is already in positions, and I say generation, to let them know that, listen, that you can become what you need to become in this particular life. Because the main thing that I realized and I understood in that time and era, it was a lot of motivation that came from individuals that wanted a different. It was a lot of that peace, love, joy, and happiness that came from the individuals that was about the movement. They didn't care what they had to lose. They just knew that, listen, I'm going to make a difference for the next individual so that it won't be as hard and things. But let me now come to a level to where about I'm at in life. Even right now, even as I'm living with everything that took place and everything that Martin Luther King made a difference in, I will say that there are still works and there are still areas that need to be worked out in this particular world that we live in. Because as long as we still fighting and warring against one another, then the love and the peace will not be able to prevail as it need to be. Do I believe that there will be a time to whereby there will be peace and there will be love and things? I really do. I believe that that peace and that love and that joy to whereby individuals will begin to look at unity completely different instead of warm with one another. I believe that it will become a time that even now that things have been evolved and elevated for the individuals such as myself that was able to benefit from it and to understand that it did not come easy. I believe that, it's time and opportunity for us all, but I also believe that and moving forward, now we have to eradicate what was placed in us, such as the hate and the oppositions and the things that tried to be embedded in us and our mindset. And I said us as the individuals that experienced it. But if you have experienced anything in your life that may have became a hindrance and you seen the hand of mistreatment on jobs in life in general, being able now to have more opportunities, but you see that individuals can be used that are in positions, even our own, color of culture, of race, we work against one another, with the attitude as if we're better than one another. We don't have the hand to worry about. We encourage, not all, but some individuals that is on the level of, moving up and things, because guess what? It's the mindset that was basically embedded in some individuals' mindset as if we got to war with one another. We got to fight with one another. But I'm a strong believer that we don't have to do none of those things. Only thing we have to do is just show up and continue to strive in the light and be the best individuals that we can be. When you leave a legacy like that on the earthly realm, that is showing that your goodwill was worth something for coming here. It was basically a will to whereby you made the choice to say, I'm going to show up in this particular journey of life of mine, and I'm going to do everything that I need to do in order to make a difference in the life, whether or not it's in your family, because family coming first and you honoring God as well, putting God first, but you honor your family the most, and whether or not it comes to raising your children, and things, having a relationship to the best of your ability. And then that love spread out into your community to whereby you make a difference. Because when you make a difference in your particular life for the right reasons and the right choices, you really don't have time to worry about what others moves, what they may be and everything. Because now that we have been given a choice and the ability to even live in communities that we could not live in, period. To get the things that we need in life, to enjoy it, to say that we are part of the world. These are things that we should be what you call thankful for, because there's other individuals that was ahead of us that basically they lost their lives. They couldn't even have a voice to sit and to come and to speak and to talk and the level to give a great understanding. So what really, it doesn't no longer bother me anymore, but it is a conversation that I say, some things individuals just don't even understand how we had to go through to make a difference and how we are still what you call holding up, in order to make a difference. Certain things don't come easy, but when you realize that somebody else trailed the way for you, it's enough to take time to give, the thanksgiving and the honor and the praise. Not that an individual is a God, but that God utilized them. That's when I can just truly say, not only did Martin Luther King step from out of the pulpit, but he began to do his purpose as God chose him to do. Now, it wasn't about ego that I seen or understood. It was about he truly wanted the world to change for the benefit of the love. That's why I say love is so powerful. It is completely powerful. My friend wrote something in here saying, "Good morning. Thank you, Lord, for the day. Enjoy today. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Remain blessed." Thank you, friend, for that particular comment. So I just wanted to come here and touch bases on that, friends. No matter what you're doing in your day, just taking a moment, because when the history of the now, because see, I can only talk about the things that I know that bless me or what made an effect upon this earthly realm as I'm living. That's why I say I didn't live back in the time biblical, but I truly believe that that word got an effect and it got power. The stories and, along with it, that it shows how God is continuing doing things. But now, as I'm living, I can express from my point of living, the things that taking place is going on. Is there still the hand of what you call still striving to be the best and to show up in life and to not be mistreated? Is it that still is it a hand in that? Racism is a strong word, but like I say, I clean it up good, but I can't clean up mess. Do that still exist in certain places and areas? Yes. And how it exists in things, it exists because individuals, you can be a pawn that, individuals could be using you. You're the only one, in other words, you know, that can be used, whereby they will use you and to basically do the dirty work upon your coworker. Okay? And you are chosen now not to make peace, and you don't speak life unto that individual who is trying to use you. So you become the using pawn now to go and harass others that look like you. Have I seen that? Yes. Have I experienced it? Absolutely. So I can talk from this particular level. But in experiencing that and everything, only thing I can do is shake my head and just say, Lord, have mercy. They don't even understand, what the power of love and, casting away those things and correcting a person, and to say, I will no longer stand for this. Because, there have been too many movements that have made a difference to whereby we all should, be treated equally, and we all should be able now to come to the table to work together to, basically to do what we need to do. And not only that, we should not be redlining on, when it comes to homes and things, where you can live at and whether or not what you can get. We should not be redlining in those particular areas, because all of that stuff have already been what you call won and fight and things. But when we don't bring attention to the individuals that are in power position to let them know, I will no longer stand and I will not be a pawn in your hand in order for you to use me, in order for you to make me feel good and give me special privileges. I will no longer walk in that particular area. You have to close those doors with people. Even if you've been a part of it, and even if you were down with it, maybe you have to go to work and you have to tell that individual, like, listen, I was wrong in my heart for even participating with what you were telling me to do. So I can no longer be involved. It's more easier now, and these are just coming from my thoughts, to stand up for what is good and what is right. Back during the time of, that love, what Martin Luther King was putting out, we had to fight. They had to do marches, and really it was strong then, because guess what? It just was not right. So even at this particular time, if you're caught up in positions to whereby it's not right and everything, be corrective to yourself and make a difference. Stand up for yourself, for the goodwill that is in you, for your righteousness and your love. If you see individuals that, that is doing it, and things, kind of have a conversation with them if you can, or just clear the atmosphere and just show that you won't be a part of it. Like I say, things may take some time in order for individuals to understand the power of love, for the ones that do not walk in it, that don't even understand the power of positivity and right thinking. But when it do come, you be that vessel and continue to carry and to move forward. Friends, I hope this message was able to bless someone. I wanted to keep it real short and basically clear and simple, without the start, any what you call debate anything that will, you know, work against. But when you're talking about truth, and from, I realize even from my own life experience, individuals will still come in and add in their, you know, thoughts and things of how they feel. But how can anything be right when you don't love someone? And when you just dislike them because of who they are and who God birthed them to be. I am a vessel to where about now I understand that God say love everybody. And if God is directing and saying love everybody and things, then this is my opportunity to tell my friends, continue to press forward and love everybody. If there's work for you to do in your heart in that area, work in it. You know, you do the best that you can do in things, because right now the season and the timing is for everybody to make a difference. Once again, I'm thankful that I am still living, seeing world changes to be better, although that there's still going on things that is going on around the world. I'm aware of that. That's why I don't get into politics and things like that, because in order to make a difference in things, we have to basically take a stand and move in the area and to make that difference. I don't think that for me that I need to get permission to be kind and loving and to make right choices in my life. I feel like that is a choice that we all have. That is a choice. And for the individuals, I just want to say that is already living in it. Tell God thank you, because everybody does not have that spirit to love. Some people are walking around with a hate attitude, or with the spirit of I don't like you, or with the spirit that I don't want to see you come up, or with the spirit, you know, whatever you do, I'm about to tear you down. There are some individuals are moving in that direction, and it's really not, at this point in time, you know, it's not even really about the race right now. Is really about what's in an individual, because that's what I experienced back then. Whatever is in you is going to come out and it's going to pour out. And that's what is going to be manifested in the earthly realm. And that's the spirit and the energy that things, what you call, vibrate on. If we make a difference within our own inner soul, then that peace and love can happen. It's when the work is not done inwardly. Remember, I said, I no longer look for God on the outside. I have to look for God in the inside of me and find the work, what I need to do within. I am still what you call working in my own personal life, striving toward that perfection and walking in my purpose, because I know that the minute that I feel like that I have basically arrived and I have no work to do, I feel like that it is truly a setup. So friends, continue to do what you need to do. If there's any more chats in the room, I am willing to be open to, you know, read them as well as talk about them. But just let's enjoy this day, spreading the love and the light. And for individuals that may, you know, share this information with someone else, or even if you come to my channel and say you may have your leaders to check out or to hear what I got to say, understand this. Gigi does not expect everyone to agree with her thoughts, because this is a free will world. I just believe in the power of love and the power to forgiveness, along with the power of prayer. And if a spirit and a soul cannot align up with that and to the righteousness of God, then guess what? There is no argument or no conversation for me to get in a dialogue with an individual. Either you love or either you dislove. There's no conversation to say, let me use the word and prove what you said. Either you love or you do not love. Either we're going to get along or we're not going to get along. Either you like me or I like you, or however. But if God is love, if love is God, then I choose to love right now. Even when I didn't understand what love is, this is my choice. You know, even if it appear to be, how can you love the situation? I don't love the situation if it's negative. I can see the good in everything now, and as well as the bad. Sometimes individual was not raised up with love and understanding the power of love, the power of prayer. Remember, friends, prayer don't come because you're behind the pulpit to make things operate. It comes because you're using the action to make things move by your words and by the things that you believe in, by joining along and by literally being that particular vessel and allowing God to use you. Go about your day, friends. I know today I am going to enjoy my day. And tell God, thank you. You know I thank you, friends. How they gonna know? Thumbs up for the video as well, friends. Like I say, the algorithm, according to the laws of and the rules of YouTube, thumbs up the video as well. Subscribe to the channel as well and things, if you want to continue to get your notifications. But know that I appreciate you, and when I say I appreciate you, I can't do what you call the videos and not appreciate the friends that choose to come. I appreciate you. You need to understand that you allow me to be myself on this particular space, and that is more than what you call worthy for me to give you your appreciations and to let you to know that as well. I appreciate you by allowing me to know that, listen, I'm in my latter years older. Has nothing to do with now things cannot, evolve and get better as I'm filming. But once again, going live and filming, the only thing I know is to look and the camera to the best of my ability and things, and then just begin to flow. So if you enjoy live videos, or even after I allow them to stay up, allow me to know that as well. If you're enjoying the particular live, it's much appreciated, because I don't know unless I get the feedback and things. And in other areas, if there's any subjects or topics that is positive, when it's concerning prayer, and when you need your faith to be built up as well, jot them in the comment section and things, so the whereabout, if I don't, respond or answer it, maybe someone else can be of help as well. Keeping it positive, keeping it in love, letting it flow. I'm about this life, about, allowing life to be positive and flowing, because you know what? It was a journey, and it still is a journey for me to stay positive and for me to think daily that, God, you continue to load me up with benefits. God, you have broken the chains from off of me. God, you are directing my path to understand my life journey. God, you are completely being who you need to be in my life. God, I thank you. I thank you just for living and for life. And I just thank you. I just wake up daily being more thankful and more grateful, because God is the source. He's the supplier in all things. Oh God, we thank you. Thank you, friend, once again. Enjoy your day. Share your story. Share your insight. If you experienced the time and the movement, or during the 60s when you were born, how it made you feel, share your insight, whether or not you drop it in the comment, just share your insight. Share your insight on the change that you see and more changes that will be coming on, what you think and things. Just share your insight if you like. If not, I appreciate you for just joining along on this live chat. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.